Hello everyone. In the semester 1 in chemistry practical, qualitative analysis of inorganic substance is there. In this video, I have covered some very important points a student must remember when dealing with the water insoluble compound. So whenever during the preliminary test, whenever you are checking the water solubility, and if you found that substance is water insoluble, then immediately you should remember that there can be only four negative radicals are possible, and they are sulfide, carbonate, oxide, and phosphate. So your negative radical will be from these four: Cl minus, Br minus, NO3 minus, SO4 2 minus, chromate, etc. will be definitely absent. But at the same time, you should remember that the reverse is not true. It means that if your compound is water soluble, it doesn't mean it cannot contain these ions. Water soluble compound can have this, but if your compound is insoluble, then your negative radical will be definitely from these four. And as it is written over here, positive ions of these four radicals except Na plus K plus NH4 plus, we call it a 5B group. So you should remember that because the salts of sodium, potassium and ammonium ions are always water soluble. So whenever your compound is water insoluble, these ions Na plus, K plus, NH4 plus will be definitely absent. So this is a very important point, and immediately it should strike when you check the solubility. Now eventually whenever you reach at the flame test, so since your compound is water insoluble and it cannot contain 5B group, so you should remember that Na plus and K plus that actually showing golden yellow and violet flame will be definitely absent. So for water insoluble compound, only you have to check whether you are getting the flame of barium, strontium or calcium. Then further when you move, the fourth test is sodium hydroxide test. You are hitting the substance with sodium hydroxide, and smell of ammonia, that is indicating presence of ammonium ion. But as we said, 5B group cannot be present. So you shouldn't perform this test, because you can understand when your compound is water insoluble, NH4 plus ion cannot be there. So without performing this test for the water insoluble compound, you should write that there is no smell of ammonia, so NH4 plus ion is absent. So if you work this way, some of the tests, there will not be a need to perform those tests. Then whenever you reach at dry test of negative ion, first test you should perform action of dilute HCl, because carbonate or sulfide will be detected from this. But next test, second one, you can see that action of sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid. Now that test for the Cl minus, Br minus, I minus and NO3 minus. So these ions cannot be present. So without performing this test, you can see that I have cancelled over here. You should write everything, but don't perform the test. So you should write over here that no specific gas is evolved, and that's why these ions are absent. Now, third test you can see again for the almost similar ions. Fourth test is exclusively for nitrate. So don't perform this test. And like previous second test, just show these ions absent. Yes, this fifth one, test of phosphate, that you should perform. Especially if you don't get carbonate or sulfide, then you should check the presence of phosphate. Here student have to be extra cautious, because in this test you are adding concentrated HNO3. Its color is also yellow. So here you should get yellow precipitate. Then only you can consider the phosphate is present. If solution is turns yellow, that may be because of the presence of HNO3. So solution yellow, that is not indicating presence of phosphate. You should get yellow precipitate, then only phosphate will be present. And suppose if you don't get carbonate or sulfide or phosphate, then the fourth one, that is a oxide. So you should consider that in that case negative ion would be oxide. So in a nutshell, there are 5 tests for the negative radical for water insoluble compound. Second, third and fourth test, there is no need to perform. Immediately you should perform first or the fifth test. So this is the way you should work. Now preparation of original solution. Whenever your compound is water soluble, we are preparing OS into the distilled water. But whenever your compound is water insoluble, so there is no point in dissolving it, it won't dissolve. So in such case you should prepare OS into the dilute HCl. But whenever negative radical present is sulfide, in that case you should prepare OS with the concentrated HCl. There is a process or method of preparing OS that is called evaporate to dryness or heat to dryness. Before prepare in OS preparation, we have to remove sulfide ion. So in a test tube, you should take 1 or 2 ml concentrated HCl, add your substance, heat and remove all the hydrochloric acid. So S minus 2 gradually it will remove in the form of H2S gas. Once HCl is removed and residues obtained, stuff is becomes dry, then once more add 1 or 2 ml concentrated HCl and perform the do the same process and again remove the HCl and make it a dry. After second time, now add dilute HCl almost half test tube and this will be your OS. If your original solution is not transparent or clear, in that case you can filter your OS. So this is the way either you should prepare original solution into the dilute HCl or otherwise uh, if it is S minus 2 then you should prepare into the concentrated HCl. When uh, you check the group of the positive radicals, always remember that since you have prepared original solution into the dilute HCl, so first group cannot be present because you can see that here the reagent is HCl and also fifth group cannot be present. So your positive will be from the second to 5A group. And very important point is for water insoluble compound always determine negative radical from the dry test only. You cannot perform this wet test. Reason is that whenever you are preparing original solution, your negative radical is converted into chloride. For example, suppose if you are given ZNO, but as you are adding HCl, your OS would have ZnCl2. If your compound is suppose calcium phosphate, but with HCl, it will convert into CaCl2. If you are given MgCO3, but in your OS it will turn into MgCl2. So, your positive ion is converted into respective chloride. So, if you forget this point and if you perform this test, then even if you have oxide or phosphate or carbonate or sulfide, but you will get here Cl minus. So, you cannot perform this test. Negative ion should be detected from the dry test only. And since you are not performing the wet test of negative, you cannot also perform, you should not perform the confirmative test also because they are also performed from the OS. Confirmative test of negative ion shouldn't perform. So finally, you should write a note that as compound is water insoluble and OS is prepared in dilute HCl, so negative ion should be detected from dry test only. So whenever you write substance, water insoluble substance in a journal. This will be the sequence. Preliminary test, but don't write litmus test. Dry test of positive, but you are not going to perform. You have to write this, but don't perform NaOH test. Write down everything. Dry test of negative, but don't perform second, third, and fourth test. OS is in mostly dilute HCl, but if sulfide is present, then in concentrated HCl. Detection of group for positive ion. Once group is identified, then separation of the group. From the separation of the group, you will get the positive ion and confirmative test of positive ion, equations of positive ion. Then you should write a note, this one that I have written in a previous slide, and finally the result table. So these are some very important points every student must remember while you are dealing with the water insoluble compound in the qualitative analysis of inorganic substance.